Welcome back everyone. In my last video, I discussed my salary and expenses in 2024 as a software engineer. And I talked about how I make more money through my side hustles than my full-time software engineer income. And that caused a lot of questions. No, I'm not doing things on the dark web. No, for real, I'm not. I have created a couple of websites for myself showcasing different products or services that I offer to people. Now, one of the best parts about web dev in 2024 that didn't exist prior years is that you don't really need to know how to code anymore to create a pretty cool website. In fact, I know how to code, but I use no-code tools such as Framer to create 90% of my websites for myself as well as for clients. It has a bunch of pre-made templates that you can use and just create a website working off of them. So a 10-hour project is not only 2 hours because you use a pre-made template. And obviously, if you do know how to code, you can add some extra flair to it by integrating some custom code components. Otherwise, if you don't know how to code, you can still make a really good looking website. And by the way, I do highly recommend trying to learn how to create websites yourself through HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, because those are skills that can be easily transferable to any job. And there are a ton of free 8-hour crash courses on learning HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, so you really have no excuse as to why you don't know how to create a website from scratch. Now, how much did I make from web dev? Last month, I only created one site for a client, and it was just a simple landing page, and I charged $700 for that. Web dev is usually hit or miss. Like last month, I only made one website. Some months like this month, I've already made 4 and I've already tripled the income from last month. So it's really up and down. And my second side hustle is my favorite side hustle, and probably the one that you guys may have seen me talk a lot about on this channel, and that is creating bots. So I create bots on the side. In other words, simple to complex programs that allow users to accomplish a task before other users. So here's an example. Let's say you and 1,000 other people wanted this new Nike shoe that I was releasing. There are only 10 pairs you can get on the website. Well, the first 10 people to get the shoe are the only ones who can really get it, because then it'll be out of stock. That's why in order to beat the other users, use a program, otherwise called a bot, that can do all the things that a user has to do to buy a shoe online, but in like 3 seconds. This way you can use that program to get whatever shoe you want before everyone else. Now, I've made a couple of bots, and this includes sneaker bots, iPhone bots, bots for hats, server shifts, towing, and some bots I can't even speak about on this channel. They're legal, they're just a little weird. Like one that was baby clothes. Now, the way this works is I usually charge clients either a one-time fee of like anywhere from $400 to $1,200, or I'll charge them a monthly retainer such as $500 a month or $600 a month. So last month I made exactly $7,050 from bots. Now that actually is more than my monthly check that I get after tax from my full-time software engineering job in New York City, which is probably one of the craziest things to me, is that a side hustle is bringing in more income than like a full-time job. This just shows how if you're able to find a side hustle that really fits your strengths, the sky's the limit. Like literally the sky's the limit. Now, web dev and bots are both really freelancing type gigs, and one of the biggest pains when it comes to freelancing and side hustles in general is accepting payments, especially when it's people who use crypto. And that's where I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Cryptomus. Cryptomus is a cryptocurrency payment gateway that takes only 0.4 to 2% commissions for receiving payments, which is very low, and they take 0 commission for withdrawing as well. You can integrate the payment gateway using the API documentation that you can find in your personal account, and there's a PHP SDK with all the necessary tools in a single kit. Another great feature is the support for e-commerce plugins. You can integrate Cryptomus with e-commerce sites like WooCommerce, Shopify, PrestaShop, and more. And if you want to use it for your own brand, there is a white label option where you can configure all of the necessary data so you can use all Cryptomus payment processing features within your personal branding. So in other words, you can create your own crypto exchange or gateway, allowing you to work with crypto transactions the way you want. So if this will help you like it helped me, be sure to check out Cryptomus using the link in the description below. Be sure to register today and try it out yourself. Now, side hustle number 3 is my very first SaaS. Yes, I launched a software as a service, aka SaaS, for the first time in my life. And this is basically the equivalent of having your own startup on the side, because it's a lot of work. And trust me, when you guys hear the amount of money I made last month through it, you might be like, what are you doing? So I launched my own SaaS, again, a software as a service, and most SaaSes accomplish some sort of need, right? They solve some sort of problem. Well, in my time spent as a freelancer, I noticed a lot of entrepreneurs were trying to find clients on Instagram, and to do so, they would send like hundreds of DMs a day. They would DM people saying, hey, do you want a website created? Do you want a chat bot? Do you need any new software for your company? And they spent hours sending these DMs, man. And the ones who were real A+ students, they would hire other people, pay them like, I don't know, $500 a month. And they would all DM a bunch of accounts months. And so that was not only causing that person to pay out of pocket a lot, they were spending hours, like 10 hours a day DMing. It was just really, really messy. And I told myself, I am not going to be spending 5 hours sending DMs every single day. That's absurd. So me being lazy, as well as being a software engineer, the perfect combination, I knew there was a way to automate this. Like there had to be. And there really wasn't a good solution, so I decided to make it myself. I designed a software that was able to mass DM Instagram users, as well as cycle accounts, use proxies so you don't get flagged. And that too with just a click of a single button. So we launched at the real end of last month, and so far I've only made about $225 from this. You know, again, nothing crazy at all. It might be like what, 10 Chipotle bowls, but regardless, this is something that I hope to grow, and hopefully it does grow, and it's really like a startup on the side. And we'll see. Maybe I'll update you guys next month. Hopefully it's not 225, maybe it's 2,250. Now, my next side hustle, you guys are probably wondering, how do you have a full-time job and all these side hustles? Well, if you know how to time manage, you can do it too. So now remember when I talked about creating bots earlier in this video? I was completely self-taught. I had no one to really go to. My friend and I just dived into this bot world together, and we learned everything from scratch. There's very few resources online about creating bots and how this entire bot dev space is, which personally, I don't know why. Well, I do. Everyone just gatekeeps it, but I just don't like the fact that people aren't really being forward about this information like I am. And now I know I'm gonna get hit with these scammer accusations and online guru, and people are saying, yeah, buddy, sure, you made money with the skill you're teaching. You're just making the money by teaching and not actually the skill itself. I know I'm gonna be hit with those accusations. There's no surviving. But I do want to say that I learned bot dev with limited resources on my own for 3 years straight. And I made so many mistakes in that process that I'm sure if I didn't make those mistakes, I probably could have learned bot dev under a year. So I decided that why not be the first person in the entire world to really educate people on bot development. So I decided to create a mentorship program where I take 5 to 7 students and I take them from being a novice bot developer who maybe barely codes in their life, right? Or even is a professional coder, doesn't really matter, to a person who can create bots on the fly and is really good at it. So if you do want to just take a quick glance at it, I highly recommend checking out the link in the description below. You can sign up for the waitlist. Again, it's one-on-one experience, and you are able to work with real clients during the mentorship and get paid for it. But yeah, it's been like about 1.5 months old, and it's been a hit. Last month, I made $5,500 off the mentorship program. My last side hustle is AI services. No, not Devin AI, but he can probably make what I'm about to say too. Just like how there are no-code website builders, there are also no-code AI chatbot builders. I use VoiceFlow to make some pretty neat chatbots that people can put on their website to talk to customers. You simply drag and drop these elements to take user input, answer questions, let them click buttons, use GPT technology, and let user book appointments, and a lot more. The possibilities with these AI chatbots are endless. In fact, I recently developed a WhatsApp chatbot that allows event organizers to contact a catering business through the catering service's WhatsApp number, where then a chatbot will respond to the user, and the user can order catering for the events by simply talking to the chatbot. There is no human on the other side of that number. Now, I did not make any AI services last month, but I did make some in previous months. And what I do is every like 2 or 3 months, I do charge the user like a subscription fee. So last month I made only $125 off of it, which, you know, hey, why not? It doesn't hurt. And the chatbot that was causing that income was for a therapist clinic. Nothing crazy, but hey, better than nothing. So now here's the total breakdown. From bot revenue, I made $7,050. From mentorship, I made $5,500. From my SaaS, I made $225. From my web dev, I made $700. AI automation, I made $125. And this brings the total revenue to $13,600 last month. Yeah, this is interesting. Now looking at this, it's pretty crazy, but I strongly believe that everyone should at least try to start their own business if you are in tech, just because how easy it is to start one with like $0 down. Most of these things, the only cost is time. And a ton of people are making money in tech creating simple apps that solve very simple problems for very simple industries. So if you learned even a small thing, I'd really appreciate if you like this video and subscribe, and hopefully this financial transparency has encouraged you to maybe start your own side hustle today.